Hello everyone, it's Stuart here from the Woolpatch. Are you ready for the next 4 hours of crafty Christmas chat? It's going to be brilliant. I've got the first hour, then followed by Needles at the Ready, then Michael, and then to finish off with Fibre Hustle. But when you think it's all over, no, we're back for another half hour of us all together in the same window too, a bonus to kick off your Christmas holiday crafting. Now, speaking of which, there is a reason why I'm here and not actually starting the show upstairs in just over 5 minutes time, is I need this off the Christmas tree. Do you remember my show last year? I was telling you how each year I put a new Christmas decoration onto the tree. Well, this is my new one for this year, and it's a crochet craft that I've made. I've made loads of them already. It's fabulous, and I'm going to tell you all about it in this show for the next hour. Now, I'm going to go upstairs and get ready. Ooh, I've got my drink too, sherry. Well, it is 5 o'clock here. Have you got yours? You've got nice coffee? Tell us what you've got in the chat. And actually, that's where you can do it with your 3-word welcomes. If you're new to the channel, our 3-word welcomes is, we start every show with it. Type in the chat 3 words that is what's going on for you at the moment. Or it could be how it sums up your day, or maybe even your week. Been one of those weeks. Well, we're going to make it so much better today. So much going on. So whilst you type those 3-word welcomes in, I'm going to take this and this up to the studio, and I will see you in what? Oh, yes, 4 minutes and 57 seconds. See ya. Good afternoon, good morning, and then it will be, I suppose, good evening, won't it? It's Stuart here from the Woolpatch, and I was just about to say it's 8 o'clock, but it's not. It's 5 o'clock, and it's wherever it is elsewhere. Lovely to see you all. It's Tubedudes Christmas Holiday Special 2023. Lovely to see you all. Lovely to see so many in the chat. Those 3-word welcomes were electric. You're all buzzing for it, aren't you? Well, if ever there was time to stick to the schedule, it's now, because each Tubedude has pretty much 45 minutes, 50 minutes at a push. And then the next show starts. Now, the wonders of technology means you don't have to move. We've done it all our end, so YouTube just redirects you to the next Tubedudes. So you haven't got to move at all. So after me, when I finish at about 10 to the hour, if Fizz is cracking that whip like I know she is, producer Fizz in my ear, I've got some buttons here to push, but I don't think they're showing up. There we go. But producer Fizz is there in the chat. She's also there in my ear, keeping me on schedule for that tight show. But as I say, when we finish about 10 to the hour, YouTube just does its magical thing. So you don't have to do anything and it will just switch over. And after me is, yes, Needles at the ready, Kevin and Ray. If you haven't seen the running order, there it is in front of you. Then it's Michael, Piece for Piece Crafting. And then it's the Fibre Hustle Dudes. And then for the first time ever, we're going to try a crossover, a bonus for you all. You know, like your favourite characters that you have in a programme and they suddenly meet. It's going to be like that. We are having half hour where we'll be all together on the same screen. 4 windows, all of your YouTube tubers together for half hour. So we can chat to you. And actually, I can chat to the others rather than doing it. Well, we can't really do it during the show, but I'll be able to speak to them all and go, oh, what was that? Can you tell me about that pattern again? So that's going to be great. So that's the lineup of Tubedudes. And I know many of you are going to be sat there for the whole stint. But as I say, we finish a little bit earlier. So that means you could get up, go to the toilet, you can go to the fridge, you can put the kettle on again, come back in time for the hour to start all over again with another Tubedude. So that's the idea. And then I will see you back here, hopefully for that bonus crossover, because it's back through my channel. It should redirect you back here and you'll see all the 4 windows. And it'll be a quick change for Fibre Hustle because they'll have literally just finished and they'll have to hop back on again. Right, what's coming up on our show? What have we got planned for you? Well, we have got 2 wonderful things. If you remember watching last year, I always put a Christmas decoration on my tree each year, brand new one. Or if people gift me something for the tree, then I write the date on it so I know who it's from and when it's from. But this one was a brand new pattern, only just recently released, the Jasmine Christmas Ornament Tree. Beautiful crochet. And if anyone knows the Jasmine stitch, it's phenomenal. It is a bit tricky, but once you've mastered it, it actually becomes very easy. So we've got that to show you later. As always, if you watch the Woolpatch show, you'll know we have this fun little 2 minutes where we guess the year of something. And this year, it's guess the pattern and which year as well. I don't think you'll guess the pattern, but you'll certainly guess the year. That's the idea. Guess the year of the pattern of when it was released. And for those 80 lovers, this one's for you. Then, yes, if they dial in, if technology works well, we will have the Crochet-dudes. Like what I did there. They'll be joining us for a good 15-20 minutes. And then we'll have the charts that I normally have each month on the Woolpatch show and every week. Me and Fizz have been doing the charts of the top 10 hot right now patterns on Ravelry for the last 48 weeks. We've got 3 more weeks to go, and then we're going to have a special show in the Christmas break talking about those hot right now patterns. And we've got some very special interviews lined up for those who have been in the top 10 and those who have been number 1. So I can't wait for that. And then we're going to be talking about the Hum Beanie, which I've got here. Look at that. So I think that's the running order done. Fizz, are you all right with you? Everything... I'm just checking in with Fizz, yes. So let's go straight in. Let's get rid of that. And let's go straight into the Jasmine stitch. Now, let me get this one here and do a top-down shot. Look at this one. Oh, well, no. Let's get rid of the crooked men. You don't want to see them just yet. Now, look at that. The chat is going like Billy-O. It's speeding up there. But if you have done the Jasmine stitch, pop it in and I'll see if my eye can catch it as it goes. It's basically a wonderful elongated stitch. And can you see the star there? That is the idea of it. So there's 6 prongs to it. Think of it like a petal. I wonder if it's I wonder what she's called it. Well, I don't think the designer has called it the Jasmine stitch. I think it is a well-known stitch in the crochet world. Crochet people, let me know in the chat and I'll see if I can see that. This was my first attempt. I saw it. Let me go back to this and you can see here. I am not very good with names. I think I will say I think it's Makalani, but it could be pronounced differently. She's been releasing quite a few patterns recently with the Jasmine stitch, and I saw this. I thought, oh, this is what I've got to do for my Christmas tree. So you could, knowing how brilliant Fizz is, the link will already be dropped into her Ravelry page, and let's have a look. See if. Can I get a closer picture of it if I click? If I do that and do that. No, I think it's frozen. I was going to zoom in on it, but I can't do that. So let's go back to this. It's this idea of pulling up a really long stitch, which I'm really good at because I'm a loose crocheter, because every time I pull up a loop, I always do a little tug up. So my crochet is generally looser than normal. So this stitch where you have to pull up a good amount and then go in again, yarn over, pull up another loop, you can see how wonderful that is. And it's very much an experimental stitch. I did it again after I had my first go, and I thought, do you know what? I'm not going to pull up so tight and sort of go against the pattern. And look at that. So it's a lot more dense. Now, I haven't done the bead at the top, but you can be as fancy as you like. I said at first it was quite difficult to get to grips with, but once you've practiced doing the Jasmine stitch, this pattern becomes incredibly intuitive, where you can knock out, I kid you not, you can knock out a Christmas tree probably in 10 minutes. So if you want to make something for your Christmas tree and hang that on, or to give to a friend, it's a wonderfully quick pattern to do. So take a look at it. Now, she's released even more patterns in this stitch, and there's a fabulous one called the Christmas cone, where it's those polystyrene cones in that shape, cylindrical, with the Jasmine stitch. I had a go, and it was a bit hard for me. So that's in time out at the moment. I didn't get on very well with it, but I might come back to it because it looks wonderful. You don't need one of those polystyrene cones to stuff it with. You could just have card and stuffing. Yes, it's wonderful. So if you want something for your tree, something different, and you want to crochet, then have a go for it. Right, I'm just going to have a quick look in the chat and see how it's going. How is everyone in the chat, Fizz? All going well? It's going very well, she says. Great, well. Looks, Dinky Craft, Jennifer, hello. Looks nice both ways. It does, doesn't it? Yes, it's, I suppose it depends on what you fancy, really. Now, on her chat, in the, if I go back to this one, let's get rid of. There's lots of. Yeah, that doesn't move, does it? If you go onto that Ravelry bit, there's lots of explanation on what yarn to use and what hook size to use. Thick yarn small hook is the general practice, but it's all there, and the stuff that she's done is just wonderful. Really, really nice. So have a go at that. It's the Jasmine crochet Christmas tree ornament. There we are. Got it out in the end. So who in the chat and who at home is in for all 4 hours? Are you settled? Have you got your feet up? Let us know in the chat. Have you got your snacks there already? Because I know you're all from different times. Poor old Fizz, because it's like over in Pacific side there. You lot, it's 9 a.m. So who's watching from bed? Have you got the laptop on? Have you got some cats next to you? And are you crafting? You won't be having a sherry in bed for sure. You'll be having a nice cup of coffee. Oh, Mindy, you're ready for all 4. Wonderful. And do you know what the good thing about this is? All Tubedudes, yeah, that's right, Tubedudes, we're all so different. We have such different styles, and that really complements the next 4 hours because you don't want all the same sort of style. Let's make sure that you all understand one thing. No one style is better than the others. And that's why you come into your community of Tubedudes, because you connect with the Tubeduber, is that right? Tubeduder, and the way they present. And I think that makes for an even nicer 4 hours for you, because you're going to get such different styles. So hope you enjoy it. Sue says, evening Sue, hope to manage 4 hours. My dear hubby is cooking and will bring plate of food to me. Lovely. We'll need well, that's right. Fizz will be on for me. She'll be cracking that whip for the schedule to make sure we finish at 10:02. So you do then get the chance to change. James, I thought you weren't here. Unfortunately, can't be here for all 4. Need to do post-holiday laundry. You got back in time, though. That's great. Carol, nice in. Right, 5 minutes behind already. We've got to skedaddle. Right, now it's time for a bit of fun. So I'm going to show you a pattern. During that pattern, you've got to guess the year. Then it'll come back to me and you put in the chat the year. Just write it in, and if the lag's not too bad, we'll get all the years up. But when we checked yesterday with Fizz, the lag was 1 minute. So that weren't going to work at all. So, hang on though. Before we do guess the year, guess what we've got, Fizz? We've got a competition for you all, haven't we? We have a competition. If you watched Tubedudes last year, you'll know all this competition malarkey. We've got prizes to give away, as have all the other Tubeduders. And what we're all doing is this anagram holiday scramble thing. So for our one, the Woolpatch one, we've chosen a song. A good classic Christmas song. What did we do last year? Oh, it was Winter Wonderland last year, wasn't it? This one is my second all-time favourite one. And I love it. Absolutely love it. So it's a song. But we're not going to give you the letters all at once. They're going to pop up on the screen, either there or here. And you've got to note all the letters down. There we go. 4 letters for you already. Now, thankfully, you'll be pleased to know I'm not in charge of when they appear. Fizz has got fingers on her buttons as well. We are technological mad here. So she's responsible for when those letters come up. And when they come up, write them down. Then your job at the end of the show is to work out the song from those letters. And then what you've got to do is post them in this little form. Now, Fizz, we've got it pinned to the top, haven't we, of the YouTube chat? Yep, we have. It's pinned on the top. It's a little form. You fill it in. The emails don't go anywhere else other than for me to notify you of who's won. And you put on there, what if you do win, what prize you want. And it's electronic sewing or knitting or a crochet pattern, which I can pay from Ravelry. So the designer gets some money and then you get a present. And if you're in the UK, you might even get a physical present too, like some yarn or some wool. little bonus there. So watch the letters. You've had your first lot. They're going to come through all through the show. Write them down. And it's only 24 hours to enter. So if you're watching on catch up 3 days later, sorry. Lovely that you're watching on catch up, but sorry. Guess the year. Ready? So now you're going to look at the pattern and then write in the chat, and it will make you giggle for sure. There we are. How 80s is that? And I know many of you, James in particular, from New Zealand way, he loves the 80s British comedy. Yeah, Heidi Hi, Hello Hello, all that. Are you being served? I think he might get this one. Write it in the chat and we'll see where we go. Here we go. Let's blast through them. 98.4, 98.3. Patterns emerging here. 83, 88. Oh, I'm rattling through. 78, Sue. 85, 82, 87. Come on, keep them coming in. Keep them coming in. 86, 85, 84. Hey, Jan. Lovely to see you. So many new faces too. Hey, Karen. Valerie, James. Oh, come on. Hey, Lois. Good to see you. She does indeed. She does indeed. Oh, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. 84, 86. Oh, I think that might be our last one. Sheila. Hey, Sheila. 1989. 1986. We seem to have two areas, early on and later on. Fizz, are you ready to scan through the chat and see who's got it? Just for fun. No real prize here. The answer is 87. I'm having a quick look. Karen, well done. Anyone else you see, Fizz? Oh, Daniel, well done. Brilliant. There we go. And Karen as well. Yeah, superb. Wonderful. Love a bit of Sue. And I think she's still going. I think she's still doing panto somewhere, isn't she? I loved her in Heidi Hi. Who was her character name? Every time she came on, that was the best bit. I'm thinking. Can I get it before someone writes in the chat? Peggy, that's it. Right, here we go. I can see them, the wonders of technology. They're in the green room here. They're all ready. We are going to go all orange as we welcome in the Crooked Dudes, or as we'd like to say, the Crooked Men. Let's take a look. There they are. Good evening, Crooked House. Come in. How are you two? All right?
Really good, thank you. Yes, great to be on the show.
Thank you. I know we had, whilst we were organising it, we had some time changes, but it's lovely to have you here from Lavenham down the road. And my audience, many of my loyal subscribers will know Lavenham. They hear me talking about Lavenham all the time. So I think they're going to love this little section. So Alex and Ollie, who's who? Just so the audience know. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Ollie.
Wonderful. And tell us about the Crooked House then. Let's start with the main feature.
Excellent. Yes. Well, hi, everyone. Great to meet you all. We are Alex and Ollie, also known as the Crooked Men, because we live in the Crooked House. Some of you may have heard the nursery rhyme, there was a crooked man who walked a crooked mile, and he lived in a little crooked house. And now two crooked men live in the little crooked house, because that nursery rhyme is based on our home here in Lavenham. It's a famously crooked house. Yes, it is. Stuart.
I thought
it is actually the
I thought you
rhyme.
made it up for the Crooked House. That's real.
It is
wow.
true. And it is an ancient house. It's a very old house. It's a very crooked house. It was built in 1395, so it's a 14th century house. And hopefully of particular interest to everyone today is it was built as a wool merchant's house. So it was for a wool merchant who was making Lavenham blue wool, and Stuart continues that tradition today. And he would have lived here in this house, and it had the weaver's workshop here in the house, as well as his private quarters. So a magical place for us to live.
That's fascinating. Now, how did you find that out? Was that passed down to you from who you bought the house from, or have you just done lots of research?
It's a mix. We've done a lot of research ourselves, but also we're very lucky to live in Lavenham, where lots of people in the village are very proud of the Crooked House, and many of them have lived and worked here themselves over the past 5 or 6 decades, really, the number of different people we've spoken to. And so they've been able to share with us lots of facts and history and stories about the house, and we're so lucky to have that information from them and be able to continue that and help share that through our whole life here.
Yeah, very much so. Good point. Because when I went to the Guildhall to first start finding out about Lavenham Blue, they were very welcoming with sharing that knowledge, and they still are very passionate about sharing that knowledge. I do a lot with is it not the Guildhall, the one round the corner? Is it Little Hall? I want to call it Little Hall.
Yeah.
And the ladies and gents there love telling me about it, especially when I go and do some demos there. And they're there as the guests walk around, and they share even more knowledge that they've collected over the years. So they do love it for sure, don't they? What would we call them? The Lavenhamers, Lavenmites? I'm not sure. What's the word for people who
Lavenham?
Lavenham?
Word is actually Lavenhams. I don't know.
I have to think about that.
But yes, everyone who lives here, it's such a beautiful village. It is Britain's best preserved medieval village, and so we're all very proud to be here and to share its history with everyone, really. There's a real passion here, which is wonderful to be part of.
So tell us then, how did you find out about the Crooked House? Because I only found out about Lavenham from opening my business in Melford, and then people saying, have you heard about Lavenham Blue? Have you heard about Lavenham Blue? How did you find about the Crooked House?
I mean, it all starts a few years ago for us, before we'd even met, actually. I came here, I was living in London at the time, and it was in 2018, and it was actually a December's evening, about sort of next week, about 5 years ago as such. And I was looking for a weekend away from London, and one of my friends said, go across to a little village called Lavenham in Suffolk and have tea in a little house called the Crooked House. And it was a tea room at the time. It's been lots of things over the years. And I came in here and I stepped in through the door and I just fell in love with it. It's a magical little house, and I just thought I would love to live here one day. And it seemed a bit ridiculous because I was living and working in London. I had no intention of moving to the countryside. I couldn't have. My job was tied to London. And so it sort of sat in my mind as a dream of, wouldn't it be lovely to live there one day, maybe later in life when I retire. And then about a year and a bit later, the pandemic came along. London was in lockdown. I moved home to my parents, and I thought I better switch off my dating apps because I'm not going to meet anyone in lockdown. And I logged on to switch it off, and there was Ollie. And we just started chatting, and we got on incredibly well. And we knew very quickly we were going to be together forever.
Oh,
and so then I started chatting about the Crooked House, saying, this is where we'll retire to one day. Yeah. Wouldn't this be the dream house? And amazingly, it had come up for sale.
Weirdly, on my birthday, actually, that year.
No.
I mean, we didn't know each other at the time, but it had come up for sale on my birthday. I have since checked. So yeah, Alex sent me this link to this little house, which I'd never heard of. And I thought, this looks amazing. I mean, it's crooked. It's 628 years old. But for us, it looks like a perfect place for us to live. There's so much that we can do with it. We both love old houses, and so it looked like an opportunity to do something really fun and creative for the rest of our lives. So, within a month or so, we decided that we desperately needed the house. But then it went under offer and all our dreams were dashed.
And we thought we would never get it. Then it fell through. And so we thought, it's actually fallen through. This is our chance. Yeah. And so amazingly...
it's meant to be then, isn't it?
Well, that's what we felt. We can't miss this opportunity. So Ollie booked a surprise trip from London. We hired a little sort of rental car, came up here for a day trip to view the house, and we both stepped through the door together and just thought we never want to leave. And we were so lucky that our offer was accepted, and we moved in a few months later.
We did. In March 2021, we moved in. In May 2021, exactly a year after we had first matched online, Alex proposed to me upstairs in the room that would have been the Weaver's Workshop. So where all the Lavenham blue would have been made is where we got engaged. True wool merchant art, you might say.
Yeah.
And then, fast forward another 6 months or so, and we were getting married
in the house
this
here.
time,
my
2 years ago to the day.
You could have my audience in tears over this. I know what some of them are like. This is like a Disney story, isn't it, in the making?
And look, it feels a bit like a fairy tale, but it's just
wonderful.
How it happened.
We do feel very lucky.
Well, it's more than that, I think. But what I can say, in the time that I've seen you in Lavenham and in the area, you've done wonders for the village. It's, and villages need, how difficult it is in this current day and age with coping with the high street losing and maybe with online stuff. It's difficult, but you've certainly had a big impact on the village and what you're bringing to it. And that must be wonderful. You must hear feedback about that, do you?
We love it. Everyone's been incredibly welcoming and very friendly and supportive of everything we're doing here. And yeah, we love being part of that community. We're so lucky to have amazing independent businesses in Lavenham here, in Melford with you, and all the other businesses around there. It really is a very sort of creative, vibrant community, and we're just thrilled to be part of it.
Oh, wonderful. And it's the thing I can't get over, it's such a wonderful history as well. When you look back to Lavenham, what made it, and not only Lavenham, it's the five wool towns, isn't it? It's Hadley, it's Melford, it's Clare, it's Sudbury. Well, we had silk in Sudbury too. At the heart, before the Industrial Revolution came along, we were the throng of everything, weren't we, our area? So it's lovely to see it being just like that, yet still keeping it, sleepy, wonderful Suffolk little village. Now look at your Christmas tree behind. Can we see a close-up of your Christmas tree?
So here is, we'll sort of slide out of the way a little.
This
is part
it.
of our wedding anniversary tradition, because we got married this weekend last year, not last year, 2 years ago. 2 years. It's all been a bit of a whirlwind.
It's right.
We asked everyone for a December wedding. We said for our wedding sort of gift list, please everybody bring us a Christmas decoration for our tree. And so on our anniversary every year, we decorate our Christmas tree with all the decorations from our friends and family, and it really is a very special time. So we did this last night on our anniversary, and so you're the first people to see our Christmas
look at
tree.
that.
We love
it. Wonderful. Now, I know you're dressing up the tree, and I know you like dressing up too, don't you? So let's talk about your costumes before we get to the calendar.
Yes, let me grab them now. So, we have one to show you, and this is what a wool merchant would have worn in 1578, which is a year we chose to have the costumes made for. Because that's when Elizabeth I came on her royal progress of East Anglia and would have come through Lavenham. And so we thought, what would the wool merchant owner of the house have been wearing as she sort of drove up the high street with her 2,000 servants and 1,500
Oh my Lord,
carts?
what a
So it would have been quite a sight. So let me grab it.
Let's have a look. So this is me. Think about me, because obviously I would be the wool merchant of the 16th century.
It is a 1578 wool merchant's outfit.
Oh my Lord.
So we're lucky that we have some amazing people around us, particularly at Kentwell Hall, which you all know very well, Stuart, just up the road from you, do fantastic Tudor recreation weekends. And so there are people all around us who make historic costumes. So we said to one of the ladies who's involved at Kentwell Hall, can you make us a wool merchant's outfit specifically dated to 1578? And here it is. So you can see, first of all, the jewels. These are pearls, which were more expensive than diamonds at the time, because it's harder to go down into the sea to get a pearl than it was to go into the earth to get a diamond. And then the wool itself is black. And again, black is very symbolic. This is not a mourning outfit. This is all about showing your wealth, because black is the hardest color to make back then, using natural dyes and natural materials. So we've gone for a black outfit because obviously the wool merchants in Lavenham were some of the richest people in the country.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Then you can see a bit of slashing, and under that is orange silk. Orange partly to be on brand with our house, but also because that was actually a very popular color at that time. So again, showing your silk, showing the wool would both have really shown off the wealth of this outfit.
It's stunning. Now, and I think are you wearing this in the calendar, or is Alex? Does it fit both of you?
It can.
We are lucky we're the same size, so when we make a costume, we both wear them. But we do have our own costumes individually. I tend to wear this one, and Ollie has one which is a lovely dark blue with the orange slashing showing through as well. But this is just the top. We're going to have a lifetime of costumes coming up.
Oh, I bet. I bet. Oh, well. Now, I'm already thinking now that I want a costume.
I can recommend an excellent person who can help make them.
Well, I think I'd like to try and make one as well, because we try, you know, the Woolpatch is all about craft, isn't it, and making and learning new skills. And I'm currently working with a fabulous couturier in London, Carol, who is teaching me to dress make. So maybe she can teach me to do something wonderful like that.
That'd be amazing.
We'll have to see. So you obviously then had this perfectly timing for your calendar. Tell us about the calendar before we finish.
Wow.
Here it is.
Oh my God. Am I getting it right? Here we go.
Yes, yeah, we can see this. So this is the Crooked Men calendar.
Isn't it fabulous?
Stuart has his very own, which we were delighted to see hanging up in the Woolpatch. There it is.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Look at us.
Fully on brand.
You must have had fun doing that.
We did. And that's the thing. It is all very tongue-in-cheek. It's a bit of a joke, really, of us thinking we live in an old house. Let's try and dress a bit like the house.
Yeah.
And so it started off as good fun and continues to be. But also, we found wearing the costumes, they're actually very practical for houses like this. They would have been the everyday clothes of people living here, and they're very warm in what is a very cold, drafty house. The layers of wool works brilliantly to keep us warm in these winter days. So we sometimes find ourselves just lounging around on the sofas, chatting in our Tudor costumes. They aren't just for the calendar, though. They are particularly popular in that.
And people can buy your calendar, can't they?
They can, yes. We have a little Christmas gift shop on our website, crookedhouselavenham.com.
Let's have a look.
I've seen it posted in the chat already, so everyone can have a look there. Wow, look at this, Stuart. That's amazing.
That's
so
your website.
In the shop section, you will find our Christmas shop. And then there's a variety of things. Our calendar, of course. We've also had great fun designing some tea towels, because who doesn't love a tea towel for Christmas?
Oh, I know. Yes.
So we've got some lovely cotton tea towels, all screen printed here in Suffolk, about 15 minutes away. But yes, please go and explore everything from our shop. All of the proceeds of the sales go towards preserving, restoring, and repairing this magical little house. So we're delighted to be sending our calendars all over the world.
I see, and you do ship worldwide, don't you? The local post office is getting used to you filling in customs forms and everything.
Lots of Crooked friends in America, particularly. So we do international shipping. Just put in your address at the checkout, and it will come through as we need.
Well, a big shout out to the Americans, because Tubedudes it's kind of its conception is one of the Americans, Fiber Hustle, who had the idea. And I know the American audience is wonderful to me and subscribing. Many of them have actually got membership with the Woolpatch because they can't shop locally, so they join the Woolpatch membership on YouTube as if they are coming into the shop to buy yarn. So I know many Americans watch, in fact, all over the world. But very much so. So that's good to hear that you ship worldwide. Now, you gave me this as a present, which is great. And I'll just show you January because it's my birthday. My birthday month. Loving that. So I wanted to send you a present. Now, as I was coming home last night, I left it by your front door. Have you got it there? There it is.
We did, and we were thrilled to see this box. We haven't opened it yet.
No. Good,
so
good. So I have been beavering away, and well, obviously you can guess what I've been up to. But I thought, do you know what? I've got to do something in particular. So I was delving around for some orange. So open it up live, and then see. I want to see your reactions live, and of course you've got to.
Oh, I love
You've got to put it on.
Fantastic!
Oh, heck yeah!
Yes.
You've got.
Let's
go to the big wide shot.
Yeah.
You've got
Here we go.
You've got 2 beanies. You've got one in Aaron weight.
And so on brand.
Absolutely. Now, I've also, I just noticed, let's take that off and that off because I've got your names the wrong way around. But yes, so you've got, it's the Hum Beanie, which we're going to be talking about later on in the show. And I knitted it with my own fair hands. The super chunky, Alex, you've got on is 100% merino.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's beautifully soft.
Oh, and Alex, you've got the worsted weight, or Aaron weight, as we call it here in the UK, and that's also merino. So there you go.
Amazing. We will be out and about. In the
Absolutely. And we would love a picture of you outside your crooked house in your orange crooked Hum beanies.
Maybe we need to wear them a bit more like
Absolutely.
this.
Oh, yeah. Make them a bit crooked.
And if you want some pom-poms, I'll make you some and I'll send them to you. Oh, excellent. You two, you've been a pleasure. You are crooked dudes, as it were. It's been wonderful having you on. Thank you very much for giving up your time and sharing your story with us. I've just been looking through the chat. You'll have to look through the chat towards the end because there's some lovely messages. Margaret says... there we go. Let's move that down there so you can see. Love Lavenham. Someone says that, Memi says that's amazing. Someone was listening to your story and where is it? Someone, oh yes, Lois says, as you were telling your story about meeting and coming together and then the house falling through and then you getting it again, it was all meant to be. And Diggy Craft, Jennifer says, great story. So lovely messages. Thank you for giving up your time.
Thank you, everyone.
Whilst we say goodbye, the audience are going to watch the charts. That's our top 10 charts of patterns. And the Hum Beanie, I haven't seen it in the top 10 yet, but I'm sure it will be there to come. We're going to look at crochet first. Fizz, are you ready with the crochet charts? Yep, she says to me you were ready. Let's see what is currently the top 10 patterns in the crochet world in Ravelry hot right now. Right now, take a look. Ooh. Kim Guzman has appeared again. Seen that name many, many times. Wouldn't it be nice to get her on our special show? So me and Fizz has done all the links there. These two shows of the Crochet Craft, Crochet Top 10, and then the knitting one, which will be in like 10 seconds time, always posted to the channel late Sunday evening. So it'll probably go live probably tomorrow because we've got an epic afternoon, evening and morning here, haven't we? But as I say, me and Fizz have been compiling these top 10 charts for the last 48 weeks. Amazing that we've done it all year. And we've got so into it that we've got so many stats. Every Sunday, we look at Ravelry and we go to the top pattern section and click on Hot Right Now. And that's basically what everyone is looking at. And you can see trends. So when Wes knits his mystery knit along, of course, that was number one a couple of weeks and in the top 10 for 2 or 3 weeks, I think. So there are some patterns there, but sometimes there's no rhyme nor reason to it. And sometimes they just keep reappearing. And we've had fun over the last 48 weeks talking about the ranunculus because you can guarantee every other week it's there. It's got a lot of love for it. We're still trying to get Midori on our special live show, trying to get an interview with her. So now we've got Tubedudes here, we've got a bigger reach. If you've got access to Midori, give her a tinkle and say, we'd love to do an interview with her, because I'd love to talk to her about the pattern, how she came up with the idea, because so many of you have knitted it. And now we've got more people watching. I'm sure in the chat, we're going to have other people saying, I've knitted the ranunculus, I've knitted the ranunculus. But we have secured. Did you see her also in the crochet charts there? Beba Blanket, a phenomenal pattern designer. You can guarantee she's in the charts every week. May not necessarily have a number one, but she's always in the charts. Well, we have secured an interview with her. So we'll be recording that and then putting that in the special live show in between that Christmas and New Year break. So me and Fizz will be coming to you over the Christmas holidays with a special Hot Right Now Ravelry show. So that'll be good. Right, Fizz, are you ready for the knitting charts? Yep, she's ready with her finger ready to do the patterns as it counts down the knitting charts of what's hot right now on Ravelry. Well, look at that. There's us talking about the ranunculus, and no, she's not there. Oh, dear. Some lovely messages coming through. Well done, Fizz, on doing those with the links that you can see. As I say, these videos will be posted probably Monday. But if you want to see the last 47 weeks, they're all on the channel there. Emma, I love Kim Guzman. Yes. Well, I've now grown a real affinity for I say her, I'm not sure, patterns, and then appreciate that you include crochet. Yes, well, we know crochet often gets forgotten about here in the crafting world, but we do our best. I am a crocheter, a left-handed crocheter, so I'm often teaching people in the shop how to crochet. But we do strive to focus as much as possible on knitting and crochet. We used to have fabric as well, and sadly at times we've now got rid of it now. It's all in the past. So now I'm just a straight craft shop with yarn only. So we can focus a bit more time on knitting and crochet. See any there in the charts that you liked? Have you got all your letters? I think there might be some left. Are there, Fizz? Have we still got some letters to go? They're all done. Right. So if you miss some letters, you're going to have to go back and watch on replay, aren't you? Right. We're doing all right now, haven't we? We've got 5 minutes left. We can talk about the hum beanie. Permission to go ahead. Right, here we go. Let's click this button, the hum beanie. Right, you saw the the Crooked Dudes wearing it. And this is a picture that I took before they went. So you can see it in close up. So this is getting all my words wrong. This is the Hum Beanie by Erin Gates. On Instagram, it's Lizzie_knits. As always, Fizz will put the link in the chat. It's a delightful pattern. Now, some of you might be looking at it going, that looks like the Sidewinder beanie from Aspen Leaf Knits, Ginny. And yes, it does, because of the twist, the right twist stitch. No cabling at all. It's just this fun right twist stitch. And look at that. And look at that effect. Now, the Sidewinder beanie is lovely. It's very intuitive, but there's still this awkward bit because the Sidewinder, it carries on round and up. There is just a little awkward bit after I can't remember, like the fourth or fifth round, where it resets itself. So sometimes, you can easily go a bit wrong. And I know some customers of mine have gone, oh, what's this bit? And they just have to concentrate a bit more. Oh, I've frozen. Oh, my camera's gone. Oh, we were doing so well, Fizz. We were. Yeah. Let's do this. Reboot. Yeah, you just... Right, we were doing so well. We did have a camera issue. Oh, we're back on again. My settings are going to be all over the place now. Audience, don't worry, don't adjust your sets. My camera went wrong, and I sent it off to Canon, and I said, so let's come back to me here. Oof. Yeah, I'm overexposed now. And I sent it off to Canon 2 weeks ago, and I explained why it went wrong and what happened to it. And they had it for 3 days in their repairing facility, because isn't it good to repair something rather than just binning it and buy a new one? We're trying to get away from that world, aren't we, of disposable. And they looked at it for 2 days and they said, there's nothing wrong with it, Stuart. And I said, are you kidding me? I said, it went green and pink and frozen and turned off. Nothing wrong with it. We tried it for 2 days. They sent it back free of charge. So I've got you on, the camera on, thinking, okay. And I said to Fizz, oh, it might go wrong. I'll have the phone on just in case. So we were just about to go to it, and I did the old off and on trick. But we've only got 4 minutes left, so I think the camera might struggle through. But anyway, we were talking about the Hum Beanie. It's even easier than the Sidewinder. It's wonderfully intuitive. It's all done in fives, and those columns are all done in fives. And of course, the fifth stitch is always the purl, so you know if you've gone wrong. But it's so predictable. And let's show you the raster version. If I can do that, there you are. That's the raster version, Malabrigo raster. So that's what Alex had on the super chunky version, and it is just delightful. And you can just do it so quickly. So I knitted the raster one in Malabrigo raster, which is 100% hand-dyed merino. I had knitted that in an evening, absolutely even in an evening. The worsted one, yes, took a bit more time, so over 2 evenings. But it's hugely addictive, and you will love doing it. So take a look. As if this button works now, we haven't. Oh yes, it's there. Hum Beanie by Erin Gates. Take a look at it, download it, and make it, because you'll be making beanies all Christmas. They make great Christmas presents. So if I show you this one, and if I click, will that work? There. So I did a video of it, and you can see the crown, because I know many of you like hats with good crowns on, how it goes up at the top, and it's just wonderful to knit. And as I say, it's those bands of 5, and it resets, and then you just go back to the first pattern repeat, as it were. But it gets to the point where you don't even need to read the pattern, because you know what the pattern is. It's so intuitive. And then that one is the worsted one. But I suppose, as always, with the worsted, it's a better stitch definition, isn't it? But if you like that pattern, go and take a look at Erin Gates on Ravelry, Instagram at Lizzie Knits. I think she does most of them in Malabrigo raster. If you want to, and you're local, you can go onto my shop and get raster with some money off, because sadly, Malabrigo is a Brexit issue here. They've moved their UK warehouse when they were shipping to the whole of Europe. They've moved it to Europe, and understandably so, because of customs and extra charges. So me shipping in Malabrigo from Europe to Britain now is going to cost too much for my little shop. So I'm going to sadly have to run down Malabrigo raster, because I'm not a big enough shop to be able to afford those extra charges. So that means I have put the raster on reduced. So it's not £20 a hank, it's £16 a hank. So Fizz will drop the links in. Go and buy it if you wish. Right, there we go. I think we're coming to the end of the show. Ooh, let's push that button there, and let's do this so you can see who's next. You've got 10 minutes to refresh yourselves. Leave your YouTube going. It will automatically go over. So don't have to panic. Go to your computer and then type in Needles at the Ready and get their YouTube page. You can just sit there and go. Trust me, it should. If it doesn't, all you'll have to do is refresh, but it should do. We've got all our fingers crossed here. Well, it's been a delightful show. We've got the snow on. You can see who's coming up next. How cool is that? I'll hopefully have my camera sorted. And we'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. Or at 1 o'clock or at 9 o'clock for the crossover where we'll all be together. It's been wonderful. And I'm looking at the chat, so many lovely messages. If you're new to the Woolpatch show, we do a show every month, and we've got a show coming up in 2 weeks, I think, Fizz. We've got our Christmas show coming up, haven't we? And we've got that, and then I say we've got our special Ravelry show in the Christmas period. But we see you once a month. If you're local, you can come into my shop. If you're not local, I'll send out from the shop to the UK. I know elsewhere it's a tad too much shipping, I'm sure. But as I've said, you can support local through joining the YouTube Woolpatch channel, and I think it's like $4.99 a month, which is what, maybe like $5, I think. Is that right, Fizz? Would you say? And so you can then it's a cup of coffee. It's a cup of coffee. So it's like you coming into my shop buying a ball of wool once a month. So you can support that way, or you can support by watching. You've invested your time this evening. We're very much appreciative of it. Fizz, my producer, thank you very much. You've kept things swinging along. There's lovely messages coming in. Renee, thanks to all. Well, there we are. That's what I was just saying to Fizz. Kevin, thank you. Great to have you here. Scott, cheers to you too. Fill up those glasses. Go to the toilet. You're a new subscriber, Kevin. How do I do that? I push a button here. Yes. Well, thank you very much. Dinky, thank you too. Thank you, Stuart and Fizz, for a great show. Well, thank you for taking your time to come in. Lovely to see all your chats. Join us again in a couple of weeks. Go and get your stuff topped up, ready for needles. I'm going to be there watching, and then we'll see you at the big end for the crossover. Thanks, everyone. See you later. Enjoy the rest of the day.